What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be doing an enchantment tier list. And in the past I have done this before, but to be honest, by now it is pretty much outdated, because since then we have more enchantments and more fishing rods. And I believe on Discord one of the developers did say they might not do expansions for a while, and I believe if there's going to be no new island or expansion, we're going to have no new enchantments. So I think right now is the perfect time to do the tier list. So I got the tier list and I made all 22 enchantments, and now we can start. And for the first enchantment we have Swift, and that gives you a 30% lure speed. And I think I'm going to put Swift on a B tier because I think it's a really underrated enchantment. There's only two enchantments that give you a lure speed, and it's Swift and Hasty. And if you're a low level player that gets Swift on a fishing rod, it is still good to use. Like, Swift is really good on fishing rods with a low lure speed. Like, for example, the steady rod, the king's rod, the mythical rod, anything with a low lure speed, it helps it a lot. And next we have Unbreakable, which gives you 10,000 more kilograms on your fishing rod. And for me, I think I'm going to put Unbreakable in C tier. And the main reason I'm putting it at a C tier is because it's not completely useless, but I don't suggest to use it all the time. The Unbreakable enchantment is really good on fishing rods with good stats but low weight. So fishing rods like the sunken rod, the trident rod are really good to use it on. But again, there's better enchantments you could use on those fishing rods. And next we have Insight, and I'm going to put Insight on a B tier. And I'm putting it at a B tier because the Clever enchantment is way better than this one. And the only reason you want to use XP enchantments is because you have the money and a really good fishing rod to farm XP. So at that point, you might as well use Clever. Next we have Abyssal, and Abyssal has to be the best enchantment or one of the best enchantments in the game. Abyssal has a 10% chance to turn any fish you catch abyssal. It also has another ability not many people talk about, and it has a chance to increase the fish's weight. But the main one is a 10% chance to turn it abyssal because that gives you a lot of money. And obviously I'm going to put it at an S tier. Like, if you're trying to make the max amount of money per hour, you have to use abyssal on whatever fishing rod you're using. Like, for example, the Rod of the Depths and the Rod of the Forgotten Fang, they do not have a mutation passive. So because they don't have a passive that gives them more money, you could use abyssal on it to help them make even more money. And next we have Bless, which has a 2% chance to turn any fish shiny or sparkling. And for me, I'm going to put Bless at a C tier. And again, I don't think it's completely useless. If you're a low level player or mid level player, you could make some decent money off the sparkling and shiny fishes. And there's also a chance you might get a really cool shiny version of a fish. But to be honest, if you want a sparkling or shiny fish, you could appraise it or use a Destiny Rod, because a Destiny Rod does give you a 5% chance to get a shiny or sparkling fish. And next we have Wormhole, that has a 45% chance to catch any fish from a random place. And I think I'm going to put Wormhole at an A tier. And the main reason I'm going to put it at an A tier is because if used correctly, it could be a really good enchantment. Now for me, I don't use Wormhole every day, but I have used it on some fishing rods. And if you want to, you could use it on the Rod of the Depths and go to like a money spot like the Depths, and you could literally fish there and make money and fill up the bestiary. So if you do not have 100% bestiary completed, the Wormhole will help you get there even faster. And for the next enchantment, we have Quality, which gives you a 50% lure speed, a 50% luck boost, and a 5% resilience. And for me, I think I'm going to put Quality at an A tier. And the Quality enchantment is really good to put on fishing rods that need that little boost in each category. Like, for example, a good combination with Quality enchantment is with a no life rod. And when you put Quality enchantment on the no life rod, you get instant catch, a bigger luck boost, and more resilience. So overall, it makes a no life rod really good. And for the next enchantment, we have Scrapper, which has a 60% chance to not consume bait. And for me, I think Scrapper goes at a D tier. I think in terms of efficiency, Scrapper is not one you should use constantly. But if you're a low level and you happen to get it, why not? You might as well use it. And if you do have Scrapper, you might as well go catch some mythical fishes because you will save some bait, and make sure you use the preferred bait for that mythical fish. And 60% chance to save bait is pretty high. So every other fish you catch, you're going to be saving bait at least. And next we have Storming, and this one gives you a 95% luck boost during rain. And for me, I'm going to put Storming at an A tier. And the main reason I like using Storming is because buying Tempest totems is really cheap. If you were to buy a bunch of totems, they only cost $2,000 each. And yeah, over time they do stack up in price, but I think it's worth using them. And Storming could be used on fishing rods with low luck or even fishing rods with high luck. Because for example, the Heaven's Rod has a 225% luck, and if you add Storming on it, it's going to go way over 300. So imagine using Merlin's luck or a totem Storming on a Heaven's Rod. That luck is actually insane. I have a feeling every time you try to catch a fish, it's going to be a mythical fish every time, making a lot of money. And next we have Mutated, which gives you a 7% mutation chance. And for me, I'm going to put it at an A tier. In my opinion, I think Mutated is really underrated. And I've used Mutated during a mutation night, and you'll be surprised how much money you can make. So if you are a low or mid-level player and you get mutated by accident, it's going to be a really good one you could use. And recently we got a lot of new fishing rods with no mutation passive, so using Mutated on it could be really helpful. Like for example, we got the Arctic rod with no passive mutation, and it's really cheap. So if you're a low level player and you get mutated on the Arctic rod, it could be insane money. And next we have Clever Clever, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows is going to be an S tier. The Clever enchantment gives you a 2.25 times XP boost on every fish you catch. And I'm telling you right now, if you use this, you're going to level up really fast. Like if you take Clever to the Captain Goldfish, the Depths, or the Cryogenic Canal, you're going to make a lot of XP and money at the same time. Probably less money at the Captain Goldfish, but the other two, a lot of money, a lot of XP. And next we have Sea King, and this one gives you a 10% fish size. So pretty much every fish you catch gets a 10% chance to be bigger. And for me, I'm going to put Sea King at a C tier. And the main reason I put it at a C tier is because it's not completely useless. You could put it on the King's Rod and have a 25% chance to get a bigger size fish. So could you imagine trying to catch a whale shark in the Meg and then you activate that 25%? That fish is going to be massive. So not completely useless, but it's definitely not in the meta. And next we have Divine, and for me, I'm going to put Divine at an A tier. And it's kind of surprising for me to see Divine at an A tier because at the beginning of the game, it was at an S tier, like at the number 1 place. But now a lot of the newer fishing rods have luck, so Divine is not really that useful. But of course, Divine is still a good enchantment to use for mid-level players. Like if you have the Mythical Rod or the King's Rod or the Steady Rod, you could use Divine on it. Those fishing rods could really use Divine. And next we have Steady, which gives you a 25% progress speed. And for me, I think I'm going to put Steady at a B tier. And the Steady enchantment is a really good enchantment to use on fishing rods with low resilience and control. Because usually those fishing rods with low control have trouble keeping up with the progress. And because their bar is so low, they lose a lot of progress really fast if you miss. So if you happen to get Steady, use it because it could be really helpful for you. And for the next enchantment, we have Resilient, which gives you a 35% resilience. And this one, I was debating on putting it at an S tier or an A tier. And I think for me, I'm going to put it an S tier because Resilience has so many uses to this day. And there's some mythical fishes in this game you cannot catch without resilience. Like for example, the Spectral Serpent, to catch it with the reinforced rod, you might need resilience to catch it because that serpent moves like crazy. The progress bar is really hard to keep up with. And the other fishing rod you could use it on is a mythical rod, and this one is a really common fishing rod many people use for money. And next we have Control, which gives you a 0.05 control. And for me, I think I'm going to put it at a low B tier. I think Control is good for low level players. Like for example, when I first started playing fish, I used to use Control on the Nocturnal Rod. And if you guys remember, the Nocturnal Rod has a really small bar, so Control on it helped me a lot. So if you get Control on a low level fishing rod, I suggest use it because it could be really good for you. And next we have Breeze, that gives you a 65% luck boost during wind. And for me, I think I'm going to put it at an A tier because again, it gives you a lot of luck and you could buy a lot of wind set totems to constantly turn it windy. So you could always have that 65% luck boost at all times. And I mean, the only one that's better than Breeze is Storming in terms of luck. And next we have Hasty at a 55% lure speed, and I'm going to put that at an S tier because to this day, Hasty is a really good enchantment when trying to get instant catch on most fishing rods. And even if you don't get that instant catch, having really high lure speed will still help you catch fish really fast. And next we have Gastly, which has a 20% chance to catch translucent fish. And for me, I'm going to put it at a C tier. And again, it's not completely useless. The mutation can help you make a little bit more money. And obviously the best combination with this mutation is using it on a fishing rod with no passive mutation. So again, for example, the Arctic rod has no passive mutation, so you could use it there. And for the third to last one, we have Long. And pretty much what the Long enchantment does, it gives you a 50% line length. And of course, I'm going to put it at a D tier. And I mean, it does have some uses, but it's so irrelevant in fish right now. I could imagine one day they could make like a lava island, and if you don't have Long, you're not going to be able to fish certain fishes because you are too far away. And I mean, because if it's lava, you really can't use your jet ski to get closer or your boat, because if you put your boat in lava, it's going to consume it. So I'd imagine they have to find a way to give Long enchantment a use, but until then, it's going to be at a D tier. And next we have the Lucky enchantment, which gives you a 20% luck, and I'm going to put Lucky at a B tier. And obviously putting at a B tier because there's so many different enchantments that give you way more luck, but again, a little bit of luck is better than no luck. So putting this on lower level fishing rods is never a bad choice. And for the last enchantment, we have Nor, and pretty much what Nor does, it gives you a 10% chance to catch albino and darkened fish. And for me, I'm going to put it at a C tier because again, you could use it to make a little bit more money. And I think now I'm going to organize this a little bit more. Man, organizing this is going to be tough. Let's see, Resilient last. I think Hasty goes up higher because it really depends what you're doing. Like if you need money, you could use Abyssal, but if you need to farm like mythical fishes faster for the best share, you could use Hasty. But even using Hasty for money is a really good option. So I think I'm going to put Hasty at number 1. And I mean, I think Clever is better than Stormy because the XP gain is actually insane. And for the A tier, I'm going to put Quality first. I'm going to put Breezed up higher. I think it's fine like that. Let's see, Insight goes up higher because XP is always nice to get. And I think it looks fine like this. Swift is really good. Steady is decent. Nah, maybe Lucky is slightly better than Controlled. And for C tier, I think I'm going to put Unbreakable last. And I mean, you could use Unbreakable to catch catch bigger fish, but it might be better to save money and get a fishing rod that can. I'm gonna put Sea King at first, and I think it's good like that. And I mean, it is a debate which one's the worst enchantment, but I think long is literally the worst one because it literally has no uses. And at least if you use Scrapper, it does save you base, so it does have more uses than long. And yeah, this is pretty much my tier list. If you guys agree or disagree with anything I put up here, let me know in the comments below, because I am really curious about what you guys think about my tier list. And what you see right here is what I've done through tests on different fishing rods. But yeah, that is all I got for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.